Subscribe for more.
I never thought my marriage would end with another man standing in front of me, puffing his chest out like he had something to prove. If you had asked me a year earlier, I would have said my life was boring, stable, predictable. I was fine with that. My name is Daniel Mercer. I am 43 years old. I work logistics for a regional shipping firm outside Manchester. I pay my bills on time. I keep my word. I believed that was enough. My wife, Claire, and I had been married for 12 years. No fireworks, no scandals, just routines. Morning coffee. Separate commutes. Dinner most nights. Somewhere along the way, the warmth faded. Not dramatically. Quietly. She stopped asking about my day. I stopped expecting enthusiasm in her answers. Physical closeness became polite. Then rare. Then non-existent. I told myself it was stress, age, life. Men are good at swallowing discomfort and calling it maturity. The signs were there long before I admitted them. Phone always face down. Late evenings explained away with vague work obligations. A new attention to her appearance that did not include me. I noticed everything and said nothing. Not because I was blind, but because I wanted to believe loyalty still meant something. The truth arrived on a Wednesday afternoon, unannounced. I was home early, sorting paperwork at the kitchen table, when her phone buzzed on the counter. One message preview was enough. A name I did not recognize. A sentence that did not belong to a colleague. I did not feel rage. I felt clarity. Clean and sharp. That night, I asked her directly. No accusations. No raised voice. She did not deny it. She sighed like I had finally caught up to a conversation she was tired of having. She said it had been going on for months. She said it just happened. She said she did not mean to hurt me. She said many things that explained nothing. I told her I needed space. She agreed too easily. I slept in the spare room and started planning my exit with the same calm I used at work. Documents. Accounts. Timelines. Emotions would come later. Or maybe they would not. 2 days later, I got a message from an unknown number. He wanted to talk. Said it would be better if we handled this man to man. I almost laughed. Curiosity won. We agreed to meet outside a small pub near the bypass. He arrived late. Mid-30s. Athletic build. Tight jacket. Confident walk. He introduced himself as Marcus. He did not offer a handshake. He looked me up and down, then smiled like he was doing me a favor. He told me Claire had complained about me for years. Said I was cold. Predictable. That she felt alive with him. He spoke fast, rehearsed, like someone who had practiced this speech in the mirror. Then he leaned closer and said I should accept reality. That men like me get replaced. That if I caused trouble, things could get unpleasant. I let him finish. I waited until he ran out of momentum. Then I told him something he was not prepared to hear. I told him I already knew everything. That Claire and I were done. That lawyers were involved. That assets were frozen. That his presence in my life was temporary, but the consequences of his actions were not. His smile faltered. I continued calmly. I told him any further contact would be documented. That harassment laws were clear. That I had already spoken to my solicitor. That I did not need his permission to move on, and I certainly did not need his threats. He tried to recover, puffed up again, said he was not afraid of paperwork. I nodded and stood up. I told him fear was irrelevant. Consequences were not. Then I walked away. That night, Claire called me repeatedly. I did not answer. I sent one message. Please communicate through legal channels only. She accused me of overreacting, of embarrassing her, of making things hostile. I did not reply. Silence was no longer weakness. It was a boundary. The days that followed were strange. Quiet. Heavy. But clean. I moved money where it belonged. Cancelled shared accounts. Changed passwords. Booked a small flat near my office. Each action felt deliberate. Controlled. Like reclaiming territory I had abandoned slowly over years. The anger came later, softer than expected. It was not about the affair. It was about the disrespect. About another man believing he could step into my life and speak to me like I was something he could intimidate. He mistook my calm for submission. Many people do. What surprised me most was the relief. Waking up without tension in my chest. Eating meals without forced conversation. Realizing I had been lonely long before I was alone. I did not confront him again. I did not seek revenge. I let the legal process do what it does best. Claire tried to reach out weeks later. Said she missed our stability. Said things had moved too fast. I wished her well and declined further discussion. I am not a tough guy. I never needed to be. Strength is not volume. It is not threats. It is knowing when something is over and having the discipline to walk away without burning yourself down in the process. Marcus thought he was confronting a defeated man. He was wrong. He was talking to someone who had already accepted the truth and moved accordingly. By the time he raised his voice, I had already left the room. Some endings are loud. Mine was quiet. And that made all the difference. There is a strange dignity in choosing restraint when chaos is offered to you. I learned that respect does not come from demanding it, but from enforcing it quietly. The moment I stopped explaining myself, people started understanding. Some lessons arrive late, but they stay forever. That truth changed everything permanently.